Good afternoon, students. So we're going to start with the session on Vedic mathematics. The first thing I will tell all of you to focus on here is some random tables which helps you in improving your calculation speed. For example, just have a look at the very first table given over here. Table of 81. Students, it seems that the table of 81, we never hear that in our academics, that we are supposed to ever remember this. What I want you to tell over here is that by breaking the numbers in parts, we can actually make the things look quite easy. For example, you all know here that 80 and 1, they two add up to 81. If I ask anybody present over here about a table of 80, you all will be able to do that, because a table of 80 is nothing. It is just a table of 8 followed by a 0. Similarly, if I ask you about a table of 1, I think you all can do it so comfortably, because the table of 1 is nothing, just your counting numbers. And students, all of you are very well aware of this mathematical part also, that when we add two numbers, one of which has a 0 at the units place and other is a single digit number, the single digit number just takes the position of 0. So the result of that, what you write over here is 18, 1, 162, 243, 324, 405, 486 and 567. And students, a careful interpretation you all can be sure of here. The result is basically a table of 81. All of you are clear about the same? Yes, students, tell me. Okay, so when we speak about this, the way I explained it over here, you can speak it like that. You can think and you can even focus on this. For example, the way I am speaking it, what I'll do is I'll focus on 8 over here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will come naturally to me. I can say this is 8, 1, 16, 2, 24, 3, 32, 4, 45, 4, 8, 6. So students, a table of 91, I will only focus on 9 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will come naturally to me. So I can say this is 9, 1, 18, 2, 27, 3, 3, 6, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 6, 6, 3, 7, 7, 2, 8, 8, 1, 9 and 910. So students, could you think about the same in it for a table of 71? Yes? I am looking for your response. Just think like that only. 71, 14, 2, 213, 284, 355, 426, 497, 568, 639, 710. And believe me, I don't have this written in front of me. I'm just doing it side by side because I am only focusing on a table of 7 over here, and rest all the things are following naturally. So that thing basically helps us. Say if you want to know how much is 81 into 6 at random, you can just focus, this is 8 into 6. That is 480 plus 6, and you can answer it to be 486. So can you answer, all of you, quickly, how much is 91 into 8? Yeah, I'm looking for your answer, students, in the chat box. That's good, Suryanshi. So could you tell me how much is 61 into 9? $549. Excellent. Could you tell me how much is 23 into 99? Now it seems a tough question comparatively. That's wrong, Shiv. Pav, you have got it right. See, apparently we always have to see which is the method which make our calculation the simplest possible. You can think 99 here as 100 minus 1. So the answer becomes 2300 minus 23, that is 2277. Okay guys, I think you all have got it here. These random tables do help us a lot in terms of improving our calculation speed. So you all should practice it initially and then maybe occasionally to get expertise in the calculation part, which is really very helpful in cracking any competitive paper that you ever want to appear in. Okay students, starting further on squaring part of Vedic mathematics. Yeah, this is a slide I have taken from one of the mails. A student was told to expand a plus b raised to power n. You all know this is binomial expansion. And just have a look what the student did. So the student kept on expanded it up to the time the paper allowed that. Yeah, that's right, Lalit. Okay students, moving on. Yeah, this is a puzzle which we'll be doing side by side. Just give a read to this and try to answer. Yeah, you all are reading it. Any idea who out of A or B will be taller? Some of you are answering it to be A. Shiv, would it be? Can't say. I guess you all have read the question. Okay, Gaurav, you are saying A and B both are same. Okay, shall we discuss it here, students? Okay, see, first of all, let me take a scenario. Say A and B were in the same row. Say if A and B are in the same row, A is here, B is here, can we conclude that A must be taller than B? Because A is the tallest person in his row. Scenario 2. They are in the same column. If A is here and B is here, can we say, students, that in this case B will be shorter than A or A will be taller than B, as B is the shortest person in his column? You all are getting that so far? And the third scenario is nothing is common. So nothing is common, so students, I place A over here and say I place B over here. And now let me take a third person, C, who shares the column with B and row with A. So can I say B will be shorter than C because B is the shortest person in his column, and A will be taller than C because A is the tallest person in his row? So in that case, students, can we conclude the same in this case also? That even in this case, A will be taller than B. So the conclusion can be generalized that A will always be taller than B. Okay, I hope you all are getting it, students. And let's move further. We are starting with squaring a number. How to square a number which is close but less than 100. Just read this point over here, students. So students, should I hope that you all are reading it and are able to understand it? The number we have taken is 92, which is 8 less than the base. The first thing which is being explained over here is that you take the difference, the square of the difference, which is 64 in this case. Now this 64, which is the square of the difference, will be placed on the right hand side. In order to generate the left hand side, what is done is the difference of 8 given in this case is subtracted from the number. So you can see 92 minus 8 gives us 84, which becomes the left hand side of your answer. And the right hand side we have already calculated will be the square of the difference, which is 64. So the answer or the square of the number becomes 8464. So students, should I take it that you all have understood it? Yes? Good, Suryanshi, Himani. That's right. Good, Mansi, Manav. So should we assume that you all have got the concept over here? Okay, moving on. Find the square of 97, students. Suryanshi, just have a look at your answer. Parav, this is wrong. Now 97 is 3 less than your base. So you subtract 3 again to get the answer as 94. So no problem on that front. Now what will be placed on the right hand side this time? The square of the difference, 3 square is 9. So you will write 09 over here. So 9409 will be the square of 97. So you all have got it by now? Okay, now find the square of 87. I guess some of you have already found that. Seven, 5, 6, 9 seems to be the unanimous answer. So if anybody not getting it, first 87 is 13 less than 100. So you subtract 13 more from this to generate 74, which becomes the left hand side. Now students, just be careful this time that the difference of 13 has a square of 169, which contains 3 digits, whereas the digits on the right hand side should always be equal to the number of zeros in your base. So the one extra, the third digit or the 100 digit will be carried and added in the left hand side to generate the answer as 7569. So is that all right, students? Okay, now you will practice with 3-4 more such questions. Find the square of these 5 numbers given. Yeah, should I take it you all have found all the 5 answers I have written there? Okay, moving on. Find the square of these numbers which are relatively at some distance from 100. So students, any problem to anybody out there so far? Taking 100 as base, we found the squares of the number closer to that. Okay, that's good, Lalit. Okay, students, moving on. On the second side of the base, this is another of the PPTs I want to show you here. A mathematical student did what? So limit when x approaches 8, it was defined as infinity, thinking it to be that 8 is written and then it is rotated 90-degree clockwise. The person rotated the 5 in the same manner. Okay, moving on a serious note. This is another puzzle. Just read it and try to answer this. One, A and B are not defined, whether the person's name is Anil or what. It's not given. So the unanimous answer seems to be Sunday. Should we take that? That the answer here is Sunday? Okay, Lalit, what is your answer then? Paritosh says you can't say. Shall I discuss it, students? Okay. Students, just try to understand and read between the words very carefully. See, one of them lies on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And another lies on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So that simply means that Sunday is a day on which they both speak the truth. And otherwise, on every other day, exactly one of them speaks the truth and exactly one of them lies. Now, if we take person A to be speaking the truth here, that if it's a Sunday, then even the second person would have said that it's a Sunday. But he is not saying that. So that means it is not a Sunday. If it is not a Sunday, this means the person A is lying. If the person A is lying, then the other person must be speaking the truth. So if person A is lying and other is speaking the truth, and he says it's a Tuesday, so which day it will actually be, students? Now, because the other person is saying it's a Tuesday, so it will be a Tuesday. So answer happens to be Tuesday. I guess you all are clear about the concept. Firstly, you have to conclude that one of them lies on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and other speaks the truth. And on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, this is exactly the opposite. And Sunday is the only day on which they both speak the truth. No, Suryanshi, that is not possible because none of the days is there in which they both are lying. So one of them lies and other speaks the truth on each of the 6 weekdays, and on Sunday they both speak the truth. So if person A is lying, B has to be the one who is speaking the truth. So it's a Tuesday. Is it okay, students? Okay, moving on. How do we square a number which is close to 100 but greater than that? Just look over here, students. Here we are squaring the number 107. Read it here and try to get that. So that's good, Lalit, Gaurav. Students, should I take you all have got it? The only difference this time was that earlier the number was less than the base, so we subtracted it. Now here it is more than the base, so we add it up again. So 107 plus 7 makes it 114. And right hand side is to be dealt with exactly in the same manner. So the square of 7 will be placed on the right hand side, which is 49. So 11449 becomes the answer, students. Yeah, you all others have got that. Shall we move on, students? Okay, moving on. Find the square of 102. Shreya, no. Students, 102 is 2 more than the base, so we add 2 again in this. to get 104. This is the left hand side. As far as the right hand side is concerned, we need to write the square of the difference, which will be 04, because we must place 2 digits on the right hand side as the base contains 2 zeros. All of you please try to find the square of 117. So firstly, you need to add 17 in this to get 134. Now the square of 17 is 289. It contains 3 digits, whereas we can only place 2 digits on the right hand side. So the 100 digit is carried and added in the left hand side to get the answer as 13689. So is that all right, students? You all are able to get that? Okay, a few more questions to practice. Find the squares of these numbers. One, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 5, 4, 4, and lastly 138 plus 3, 1, 4, 1, 6, 1. So these are the answers, students. So shall we move on? Find the answer to relatively these not so close numbers to 100. Do this, students. The first answer is 14641. Second is 15129. Third is 13924. Fourth is 14884. And lastly, it is 15376. So you all have got all the answers, students? Shall I take it? You all have got the concept over here? That's good. Himani, Parv, Lalit, Mansi, Suryanshi. Moving on further. Taking 1000 as base and selecting a number which is close but less than 1000. Try to find the squares of these numbers, students. If I don't explain it any further, can you answer it? That is the point. Suryanshi, check your answer. Gaurav, be clear. Now base here will be 1000. Which has 30 in it. So just for the clarity of some of you, if we take the number as 994, this is 6 less than the base. We subtract 6 to get 988, and as far as the right hand side is concerned, we have to write 3 digits, and what we have to write is the square of 6. So we place a 0 of our own. Our answer is 988036. Next will be 958441. Next will be 970225. Further it will be 986049, and next it will be 994009. So is it clear to all of you? That's good, Raman, Gaurav. Moving on, students. Lalit, you seem to be a big fan of Honey Singh. Writing yo-yo. Okay, that's great. Now taking a number greater than 1000, students. Try to find the squares of these numbers. Have you all found the answer, students? Yeah, any problem, students? I guess you all have found all the answers. Okay, moving on. So there was a question in one of the data sufficiency problems. They said find x and the student find it. He just said here it is. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, it's a puzzle, students. Read it, understand it, and try to answer. Yeah, think about it, students. Quick, fast. Try to analyze it in a proper manner, students. Instead of guessing the colors of all the caps, try to answer it logically. Okay, Gaurav, you'll apply in this question who is lying and who is speaking the truth. You'll make it a sacha jhutha question. Okay, students, shall we discuss it? Suryanshi, that could be correct. Let me just explain that. Okay, students, I am coming to the whiteboard here. There are 3 white and 2 black. Say there are 3 persons, A, B and C. They all are facing north. See, if you talk it from A's perspective, had A been able to see 2 black caps in front of him, he could have concluded that he himself is wearing a white cap. But he is not able to see that. That means from A's perspective you can conclude that he is seeing at least 1 black cap in front of him. Can we conclude that? Sorry. So that means A must be concluding, A must be seeing at least 1 white cap. Because I started with the solution that if he sees 2 black caps in front of him, he can definitely conclude that he is wearing a white cap. But he is not able to conclude that. So that means he is able to see at least 1 white cap in front of him. Now, hearing his statement, you come from B's perspective. If B was able to see a black cap in front of him, He could have concluded that the white cap the person behind me is seeing must be on my own head. B knows that A has seen at least one white. So if B sees a black in front of him, he could have concluded that the white that A has seen must be on B's head. But he is not able to conclude that. So that means even he is seeing a white cap in front of him. Now C heard the statements of both. So that is the reason he can very well conclude that the white cap that B has seen must be on my own head. So that is the reason C very well stated that he is wearing a white cap and he is perfectly alright. So students, all of you are clear about this? Thanks Raman, Himani. Okay Shreya, coming back to the question here. So we analyze that. Now moving on. How do we square a number which is not close to 100, say the number like 53? Now since in this case the number is half of 100, taking 100 as a base will make calculations very complex. So we will take half of 100, that is 50, as our benchmark. See, try to read it over here. Now 50 is taken as the working base, main base remains 100 only. So the last two digits will become or remain 09 only. Now in this case, because the base that you have taken is half of the main base, so we will take half of the present base, which was 25, and we will add 3 in this, that is we make it 28 to generate the left hand side, or our answer to the question becomes 2809 students. Any problem to anybody, students? You all got that? Because the number taken is half of the main base, so what we add or subtract will be done from 25. A few more questions. Firstly, try to answer this. Try to correlate the information in some way, students, and then try to answer it. So I guess you all have got the idea. Thousand is the main base, 500 is taken to be the working base, and 503 is 3 more than the base. Now students, because 500 is half of 1000, so what we do, whatever is to be added, we can do that in 250. So the left hand side becomes 253, and mind that because the base has 3 zeros, we need to place 3 digits on the right hand side, and we'll write it as 009. I guess you all have got it. So moving on. Answer this. Find the squares using the base 500 in this case. So in order to answer this is 17 less than 500. So you subtract 17 from 250, 233, 289. The second one will be the third one will be the fourth will be and the fifth will be yeah, any problem to any students, any one of you? You all have got that? Perfect. Okay, moving on. Now how we take 200, 300 and 900 as bases. So try to get one from me, students, and then you answer others. See, you want to square the number 216. So you will take 200 as the working base, whereas the back of your head you know 100 is the main base. Now number is 16 more. So you add 16 in this to get 432. Sorry, you get 232. Now matter doesn't end here, students. After adding, what you have got is 232, but your base is 2 times the main base. So what you do is you multiply this by 2 to get 464, and this is the left hand side. Now right hand side you need to place the square of 16, which is 256, but it contains 3 digits. Mind it, students, you can only place 2 digits on the right hand side, and answer to this will become 46656. So students, when you take 200 as the base, so after doing plus or minus you multiply it by 2, and when you take 300 as the base, after the addition or subtraction you multiply by 3, and when you take 900 as the base, after plus or minus you multiply by 9. To have one more example, just have a look over here. Adding 7 in 907 you get 914, and this you will do into 9. This becomes 8100, and 14 nines is 126, so it will become 8226. And you know the square of 7 is how much? It is simply 49. So the answer will be 822649. Raman, in your answer, yeah, earlier you placed 1 2 less, so it is 822649. So shall I take it, students? You all have got it? Okay, now out of these only find the answer to the first No, Lalit, it's not a challenge. It's again a matter. I guess you know the table of 14. And 14 nines are 126. You can easily add in 8100. Shreya, check. Surenshi, check for your zeros. You might have placed one extra in this case. $312 into 3, it is 93636. Okay, find the answer to this. 704, and let's move further after that. 704, 708 into 7, it will be 4956. Students, something with which we started the class, that is helpful even in this case. You all can see 7 sevens are 4900 and 8 sevens are 56. And along with that, you just need to place the square of 4, which is 16. And answer becomes 495616. Okay, I guess you all have got it. So moving on. Yeah, there's another puzzle, students. Just read and try to answer it. I guess you all are trying this. So getting the puzzle, students. Okay, just listen to me, students. See, first of all, you all understand here, there are only two type of people, either S or we can refer as Sachas, or J we can refer as Jhutas. See, if there are two people who belong to the same category, what one will say about the other? Think. Can you conclude that they will always say that the other is an S type? We are talking about the case if the two people are belonging to the same category, then answer will always be S, because it's either an S saying the truth about S, or a J telling lie about a J and calling him S. So if two people are of the same type, answer will always be S. And inverse of that, if two people belong to different categories, answer will always be J. Now friends, as in this case, the first person said that the second is a J. This means they both belong to different categories. Second said the third is a J. That means second and third are of a different category, and there are only two categories. So that means 1 and 3 belong to the same category, and 2 and 4 belong to the same category. Now friends, coming to the last part of this problem, he asked the fourth, what would have first said about the third? We already know that first and third belong to the same category. So forgetting that this was a question asked from fourth, we can say what first would have already said about the third, it will always be S. But this question was asked from fourth and he answered it J. This means fourth himself is a J. So fourth himself is a J implies second is also a J. So first and third are S. I guess you all have got it, students. Okay, moving on. to the last part of this. How do we square a number which ends in a 5? The last concept for today, students. I guess some of you already know that. How do we square a number which ends in a 5? Student, the concept simply goes, write the number, leave 5, whatever you are left with, multiply it with its immediate next number. One's next number is 2, 1 2's is 2, and just write the square of 5 behind that. Answer is 2, 2, 5. Similarly, while squaring 75, you will multiply 7 with 8 to get 56, and you will write the square of 5 behind this to get the answer as 5625. Square of 115 you can find, students, quickly. 11 into 12 will be how much? It is 132 followed by square of 5, 25. And let me tell you here, when you want to multiply or find the square of 135, students, it is 13 into 14. And you actually need not multiply this because you know 14 is 13 plus 1. So already knowing that it is 13 square plus 13. So 169 plus 13 is how much? 182, 25. 195 will be 19 into 20, an easy calculation, 38025. And lastly, 235 will be 23 into 24. You all know the square of 23. How much is that? 529. Add 23 and 529 to get it as 552.25. Right, students? Okay, I hope, students, you all have enjoyed this session and learned the basic tricks of Vedic mathematics which are helpful in improving your calculations. And working on some random tables will also help in cracking the questions based on calculations and numbers quickly. Thank you so much, students. All the very, very best to all of you. Thank you.